I don't think that either of the freshmen are ready to really step up and be a contributing factor right away.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that puts a lot of pressure on Carroll and Sandy.
Yeah.
To have to perform. And, Travis Carroll, he was boasting that he's got, he improved his jumper. He's got a good shot. I mean, we need guys to get inside the paint and score. I mean, when I was watching the game, rebound, hello. Yeah, I mean, they looked atrocious yesterday in rebounding. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys think that this team has any kind of a big man that can, contribute in a way that he needs to? Let's be honest. No, and it's terrifyingly scary in a division like in a conference like the Big Ten.
Right,
you need that.
Right, Becca, what did you see from the two freshmen?
Just more like just everything along the same lines. Really, I just don't think they're ready.
They just gotta. It's tough for freshmen because it's obviously different from high school to college. There's a big learning curve.
Exactly.
And Tainer, we saw it with the baby Boilers.
It'll take time.
Those guys blossom. Maybe that was luck. That has a lot to do with good coaching too.
It does.
We all know Matt Tainer strives defense. He's a great coach and everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a big learning curve for these freshmen.
Yeah.
And you know what? We're kind of seeing it with Anthony Johnson. As a redshirt,
exactly.
He made that big. He made a big jump for not even playing a whole season yet.
Yeah, he looked good.
What I remember in the one exhibition game he played last year.
Right.
He made big
fantastic.
steps. Yeah, he's made. You could see he wants to play. The three guys that I think want to be out there: Sandy.
Yep.
Both games. Robbie Hummel, obviously.
Exactly.
And then Anthony Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are the three guys that I've seen probably 125%. Granted, it's exhibition, but they gave 125%.
Oh, yeah, they're out
games.
there busting it. And, that's fantastic to see, especially, a guy like Sandy. I mean, like we were just talking about. I mean, they're going to need a big guy to step up. I can't guarantee. I mean, Sandy's not going to go out and average 15 points a game with, 15 rebounds. It's not going to happen. But just the fact that you got guys that want to play, I mean, that's what you want to see.
Right.
Exactly.
If you got guys out there hustling, that's,
Go ahead, Mike.
What did you guys think of Barlow in that second game? That stretch where it got kind of scary, like where they might have taken the lead at one point.
There was just some atrocious overall play. I think that one, what was it? That one layup that he completed when he hit the bottom.
He wanted to shoot, but I think he passed it while shooting and then hit the rim.
Yeah, no, they hit the bottom of the backboard.
Well, the bottom of the rim.
But Robbie Hummel should have gone up with that in the first place. That was a fantastic pass by Lewis Jackson. And Hummel tries to do like an behind the back pass to whatever.
Barlow and then,
But Kelsey Barlow, and they talk about him as being one of the best defenders in the Big Ten. He's got to do it.
Yeah,
he does. He's got to step up.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, I remember last year. When Kramer left 2 years ago, everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, who's going to pick him up on defense?"
Yeah.
But then overall they played well. But this year, who's going to? I mean, we really have to have guys because we have no interior defense.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Exterior. I mean, Lewis Jackson's very fast. I mean, I think he's an underrated defender. He's a pretty good defender, but he's not. He's not going to get you 5 steals a game. He's going to dominate. But Kelsey Barlow's got to defend, especially because I think they're going to put Barlow on the best player.
Yeah, Matt Tainer already said that Barlow's going on their best player.
I mean, aside from Ohio State, because if Barlow's on Sullinger, good lord.
That's not going to happen.
But,
I think we could both agree this season, the offense is going to be sluggish at times, but the one thing that will keep us in these games, in Big Ten games,
Defense.
Yep.
Defense will be good. My biggest concern is getting defensive rebounds because offensive teams can just, I mean, that regardless of how bad a possession's been, regardless of how well you've been defended, if you throw up a stupid three but then get the offensive board, completely negates everything the defense has done.
Right.
And that's my biggest concern.
Right.
Do we have guys that can get rebounds on a consistent basis?
And
I don't know.
We kind of talked about that, Tainer and I, in the yesterday's game and even in the Northern State game where we're on we're trying to get a defensive board, and ball's just jumping in the air. No one's grabbing it.
No one's snagging it.
All of a sudden, the opponent grabs the ball. We got to come down with those if we want to win.
Yeah.
We can't allow second chance points to any Big Ten team, or else we're just going to get destroyed.
Yeah. You got to box out when you don't have the size to match up. It's all about positioning.
Right.
I mean, guys have proven it. You got guys that are 6'9" out rebounding guys that are 7'1" just because of the fact that they know how to box out.
Right.
So I think that's going to be huge. How Coach Tainer and his crew are going to be able to coach these smaller guys and show them how to box out. It's huge.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see the season as it progresses. It's going to be a fun Friday night in Mackey. They're doing the Mackey celebration, all the new renovations. The place looks great.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Besides those gold seats on the court side, granted they look amazing. but they're just a waste of space.
Exactly. I'd rather see some more people in there.
And they get like 3 feet a seat. It's like, I mean, what is that? That's huge. It's a waste of space.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Mackey looked great. All the new renovations look amazing. Completely looks different.
Yeah.
I mean, just even little changes make the place look phenomenal.
Yeah.
They're going to do a Mackey celebration before the game on Friday, and then the game starts versus Northern Illinois at 7 p.m.
Yep.
It's going to be a great season. And, it's going to be fun to follow them and cover them.
Oh, yeah.
We got to
hope for the best.
Full season of that. Well, let's shift gears. I know we don't want to shift gears, but we have to. The Purdue football team took on number 20 Wisconsin and got thrashed 62-17. Looking at the stat sheet, Purdue offensively had total yards of 284 yards. Penalty-wise, not being disciplined again for a second straight game, kind of remnants of non-conference games. We had 8 penalties for 65 yards. On Purdue, just individual stats, the leading rusher was Ralph Bolden. He had 9 carries for a total of 49 yards. Passing, both quarterbacks played. Caleb Turbish completed 10 of 19 passes and did have 2 interceptions. Did have the early touchdown pass, and he had 103 yards passing. Robert Marv came in, completed 5 of 10 passes for a total of 61 yards. And receiving, O.J. Ross led the team with 4 catches for 42 yards. And then Crosby Wright had 2 catches for 46 yards and 1 touchdown pass, which was in the first 3 minutes of the game. Wisconsin stats, total offense, they had 605 yards. Net rushing, they had 364 yards. And then individual stats, Monty Ball, their star running back, had 20 carries for 223 yards and 3 touchdowns. Russell Wilson, their star senior quarterback, threw the ball 20 times, completed 15, and had 2 touchdown passes for 205 yards. Where to begin? It was a fast start. It was an interesting start.
It was a very
Wisconsin
interesting
came
start.
out, scored right away within, I think, the first 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And then, boom, Purdue scores a minute and 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
Going down the field. More accountably, that was more of special teams for Purdue. What did you guys think of the game? I know we want to keep this quick because we all saw what happened. And I think we all want to vent our frustration.
Yeah.
Tainer, go ahead first.
Special teams was a definite plus, probably the only plus in the game. Okay, every when Purdue gets a lot of penalties, Coach Hope stresses that we're going to improve ourselves on the penalties we give up.
Yeah.
8 for 65 yards.
We had 8 last year, or last week.
8, and then 9. What was it? A few weeks ago, we had 9.
We had 9 versus Notre Dame.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of
So you're
high-end penalty numbers.
Coach Hope is stressing that we're going to improve this. What was he going to do at the last game of the season? There we go.
We didn't have many versus Illinois, though.
No,
for Illinois,
and we won that game,
and that's why we won.
surprisingly.
Oh,
during
there
that,
you go,
during
Coach.
that 3-game stretch,
It's a trend.
Minnesota, Penn State, and Illinois. I think had less than 4 or less penalties per game.
Yeah, you win, you don't give up penalties. It's like whip the kids when they, have a ref throw a flag. Mind you, that Purdue kind of got screwed, so to speak.
Early
with the few and the pass interferences that weren't called.
3 in a row, blatant pass interference.
Yeah.
When the announcers are saying that was pass interference, I mean, someone's got to think.
Yeah, but at the end of the game, that wouldn't have made a difference.
Obviously not. Yeah.
It's frustrating, but okay. So Coach Hope needs to figure out a way to get his guys to not give up as many penalties. Let's hope he can do that. Overall, it was atrocious. I mean, it just showed you how terrible Purdue is overall against good teams. I mean, look, Northwestern went over to Nebraska, number 10 ranked team, better ranking. I don't know if Nebraska's better. We'll have to see. They kind of beat Wisconsin on a
going
fluke.
up and down,
yeah. But, I mean, you see them showing up to Nebraska and, sticking it to them, and then you see Purdue go to Wisconsin and just look like they're a Division II team. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that this team is just not good.
Becca?
Yeah, it was tough to watch, but it was just one of those games where, I mean, you didn't want it to happen, but you knew it was coming.
To me, I thought I was going to see a better effort from the Boilermakers because I know it was, good start and everything for the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And then reality hit. Reality hit. No,
Too bad you play 60 minutes.
Seriously, I mean, you look at the Notre Dame game 5 weeks ago. The team got thrashed on both sides of the ball, defense and offense.
Yeah.
The next week, granted, it's Minnesota, but Minnesota's been on high lately. We completely shut them down. Then we went into Happy Valley, Penn State, tough environment, over 110,000 fans.
Yeah.
And we played with them for 3.5 quarters. And then we beat up number 23 Illinois, upset fashion. played with them all 4 quarters. We beat them physically for 3.
Yeah.
And then go to
And
Michigan and get wrecked.
Yeah, we got wrecked defensively and offensively too.
Yep.
And I thought we would see maybe a little more physicality, just like that. The game after the week after the Notre Dame game, and just didn't see that. It's just like this team completely did not leave for Madison, Wisconsin, and was stuck at the Purdue airport.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look at Wisconsin too, though, man. After those 2 back-to-back losses, Wisconsin,
they were hungry.
Wisconsin was not going to lose this game.
They were hungry.
No.
They weren't going to lose this game.
No.
I mean, I think we all want to put this behind us. We'll leave the venting until this team becomes, uneligible for a bowl, gets eliminated from bowl eligibility. But right now, the season lives on. We still got a shot,
Hey,
going forward.
yeah. Hey, it wasn't 86-20.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true. But, the season's not over.
That's very true. There you go,
The
IU.
season's not over. And, here's a funny little quote from a famous movie.
Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no!
It's not over.
Is it over when Purdue's just not good? Maybe.
We'll find out. Mike,
I'm very critical. I apologize. To,
Tainer,
everybody.
introduce Week 11.
All right, Week 11. It's Ohio State Buckeyes versus the Purdue Boilermakers. It's a noon start time at Ross-Ade Stadium. The Buckeyes are 6-3. They're 3-2 in the Big Ten. Last week they defeated Indiana 34-20. Impressed the score was that close.
Yeah.
All right. Their key players: senior running back Dan Herron. He's got 70 carries for 415 yards and 2 touchdowns. Probably their best stat is Ohio State's pretty good defense. They're only giving up 133 yards a game. That's 3rd in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys think? What do you guys hope for?
Becca, go first.
It's just
If you want.
Yeah. It's just another one of those things. They're going to have to come out ready to play like they did against Illinois. You got to come out, got to score first. I mean, granted, you always want to score first,
Right,
but I feel like in games
these
like this,
circumstances,
and the way Purdue's been playing, they need to score first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that Ohio State defense is good.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean they can't get off to a sluggish start.
Exactly.
So yeah, I agree with you.
I mean, I think we got to stick with the rushing game.
It's working.
It's working. I mean, we're getting over 100 yards each game. Passing, it's going to be tough. I mean, I know Caleb didn't have a really good game against Wisconsin. Neither did Marv. I mean, neither of them showed signs of brilliance last week.
Yeah.
Our defense has to come to play. And I think the one thing that's going to help us is a little home cooking. Coming back at Ross-Ade Stadium, home crowd. I think that'll help us. I mean, the last time Ohio State came into our building, we beat them.
That's right.
We beat Terrell Pryor and those darn Buckeyes. It's going to be a good game, I think. Hopefully. I hope Purdue comes to play. I think it'll be a good game. Predictions. What do you guys think is going to happen? We'll first go with Tainer.
Oh, I have it being a close game, but I don't have Purdue coming out on top. I think Ohio State's just going to be too much. This team is just too inconsistent, and when they're bad, they're really bad. And I just don't think, even at home, they're not going to be able to pull it out over the Buckeyes, whose defense is just really, really good. I've got Ohio State 23, Purdue 14.
Becca.
I think that's a pretty good prediction. I think, it's going to be tight, though. Regardless, it'll be close, and it's not going to be high scoring. I'd say 24-17. Purdue.
Okay. You know what? The one thing about Ohio State is if we can keep them one-dimensional, and that's one-dimensional, have them passing the ball, Purdue will win this game because they have no passing game. And if we stop the rushing attack, if we stop Dan Herron, I think Purdue will have a chance. I think it's going to be semi-low scoring. I think it's going to be 17-14 Purdue in a close one. Field goal, it's going to be a close one.
Yeah.
But I think Purdue, if Purdue comes out the way they did against Minnesota, Penn State,
and Illinois,
we can play with Ohio State, and I think we have a good chance of beating them. All right, moving on real quick. We'll do college picks. Last week, Mike, Tainer, that is, you were 2-3 overall. You're 23-17. Becca, when you were here a couple weeks ago, you went 2-3, so overall you're just 2-3.
Right.
And then I was 3-2 last week, 27-13 overall, so I got that 4-game lead over Tainer. First game, number 10, Virginia Tech at number 21, Georgia Tech. Tainer, who do you like?
I'm going with Virginia Tech. Their defense is really good this year. They're only giving up 15.4 points per game, and I think that's going to be too much.